Hello guys, and welcome back to my Thrones of Britannia playthrough series as West Sussex, or West Seaxe, or the other names you can use to pronounce the faction at this period of time. Now, one thing I do want to clarify right off the bat is you may have missed a couple episodes that I didn't upload to the YouTube, simply because of the fact that I made a major cock-up. I didn't unmute my microphone while recording, so even though I was talking to myself and recorded some lovely gameplay footage, because I hadn't unmuted one of my microphones, it was just basic game footage. That was it, which was a bit infuriating because it's not something you notice until after you've done the recording and you've gone through the process of doing all you were doing. You think, oh, that was a really good session, and then you realise you made a mess up just because you didn't flick one switch. But just to clarify more or less what happened in that session, we vassalised the East Seaxe. I think they did declare war on us the session before. We then subjugated them down, and I pillaged their lands and basically made them feel the full force of my armies, which was fantastic, and it worked out really, really well. We also pushed forward a little bit here. We took Northampton, which was good. I don't know, did we keep Northampton? I think we took Northampton last time. We might have. I don't know actually. There's a lot gone off. I know we moved forward and took Gloucester. That was one thing that happened because I was waiting here for a fair few turns to let my army replenish its supplies, which was a bit of a long-winded invasion. What I've done now is I've sent my army down this way, which is having Athelheim, but his supplies is quite low. He's got 21 supplies at the moment. Now my concern is that he will start taking attrition. And start taking damage. Now what I did is I sat here in this rebel province for the simple reason of hopefully my vassal decides to take control of this said province, but for whatever reason they didn't. So what I'm going to do is take it myself, because you know, you give the opportunity, you go, hey, take the settlement, it worked well for you. They didn't, so I'm gonna have to take it myself, because I need the supplies. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is, even though these guys are my vassals and you'd think they'd be giving me supplies and stuff like that, they're not. So I actually lose supplies by even being in their territory, which is a bit surprising. But it does mean that I have to replenish, I have to actually dismantle this, which is a bit interesting. I can't afford, okay. So I've got to wait for that to repair. So we are pushing this way, because these guys on the Cornish in Cornwall, basically I left them. They rebelled probably 10 years, 20 years ago now, and they've just been here, not really doing much, and I've now decided, you know what, I'm going to go and finish them off. I've had enough of them rebelling. Well, let's have a look at a couple upgrades we've got down here. So we have my general, who's decent loyalty, who's okay. Probably a good idea maybe should we increase his quartermaster, maybe bard, to increase his morale. We'll increase the bard up a little bit, which is always a good thing to get. We've got another governor here. Again, his loyalty is quite decent. We'll have him under siege engineers just in case, you know, he gets sieged. Hopefully not Winchester doesn't get sieged, but you never know. What else was I going? I think this army was moving around to... Eventually, because I need to take Bedford back after the rebels have just taken it and seized control. So I'm just going to move my army over that way. And I think I was doing the same with these ones too. Well, anyway. So let's go to, is it Fearford? I'll have these guys just chill out in that particular area. Now, do I actually want to keep these spearmen? Because at the moment I was going through a process of changing my army around, so upgrading spearmen to the better spearmen if I didn't need them. Just simply because of the fact that it's nice to have levy units, or frieds as they call them, but I think the less you have, the better it is for you, in most cases. And I'm still at war with Gwynedd and a few of these other... actually, I think all these factions are pretty much... Yeah, these are rebels. And I also declared peace with a couple of them as well, simply because of the fact of the matter, I didn't want all my borders being on a bit of a difficult front. It's fine pushing forward and attacking people, but what I usually find is if you're warring too many fronts, you start taking it gets difficult to manage in most cases of it all. But I feel like we're okay this time round, so we'll finish that turn. Oh, it's been a quiet turn. We've had a war declare. Looks like that is on island, so we don't need to worry about it. And we've just had a couple of gate trains, so someone got devoted and impeccable. Or imbecile, I think that's what it is. Shameful. Something went wrong when their brains were handed out. Wow. That's very nice. They've lost some command and they've also lost some governance. Wow, great. So it might be a good idea to replace them at some point. I'm going to leave this army here just to chill for the time being. I feel it'd be a bad idea to move out, especially when they're still on low supply. But I do need to repair this for a few turns. And everything else has just seemed to go swimmingly. Again, I just need to move my armies around and up. So we'll move these guys up to here. Actually, no, we'll move them a bit closer. We'll go to here. And I should be able to then turn into a fort at least. And fortify that up. And then we'll run to this settlement. And I'll have both my armies attack this Bedford, simply because of the fact that it's easier. Because he has got quite a lot of units. I don't know what kind of units he has in this rebel settlement, but I don't want to be like these ultimate really good units and I'll send one army there and it becomes quite a close fight. It's sometimes better just to wipe the floor with them easier. And my income per turn's not that good right now, which is a bit... Yeah, I mean, I wish I could have actually more. It means I can't really upgrade buildings, what I want to upgrade. So I'm just having to twiddle along bit by bit. And it is because I've got a lot of army. As you can see, I've got 4,500 in army upkeep. And then there's just over 3,000 in maintenance. And then other expenses, which is a big one. But although next turn we will have some upgrades coming in for my missile units. And then I think I'll need to focus on some civic stuff just to try and see if I can increase my income per turn at least. Or maybe get rid of some corruption. Alright, sweet. So let's have a look. So which one shall I go for the civic? Because I haven't unlocked this one yet. It apparently says it build or upgrade the Moot Hill Law or Thing chains or conquer a region which has the highest level building in one of the chains. These can be built in Great Hall types. So I feel that is my capital building, which is it Winchester? Yeah, so I've got to upgrade this to the highest before I can actually start unlocking the chain of these buildings, because that's a Great Hall. That goes to Royal Court from the Royal Hall. And I need... Yeah, I need the Great Hall by the looks of it. Okay. So, and I need 4,000, basically I need 5,000 coins for that, which I'm nowhere near, which is a bit upsetting in a sense. I'm going to move this way, because there's actually a, there's no rebel army here, so I can actually take this settlement relatively easily. I will lose, obviously, some supplies for being in enemy territory, but if I can actually take that, it'd be useful. Go for siege, actually increases better units, organisation, melee spears. That gets rid of food, morale, replenishment, but gets rid of food again. I think I'm going to use this one. I'm going to get the reduced tariffs. It means we get trade faction-wide. So it should actually increase our how much we get per turn. Okay, so we've got a governor who's got really high governance. His zeal could actually be... actually, he's probably got to sing that... Yeah, knocks that down. Let's see. Can we... What can increase... Because... It's scribe that increases your local province's gain per turn. And I mean, we're okay on food. So I'm going to go quartermaster. That would probably be a decent one. You could do a wife as well. I mean, he's quite old, but the thing, it's going to cost me a bit of money to that. So if you can find a wife on his own, that'd be good. I feel I'm going to got this other army just chilling around here. I'm probably going to send them up to... Yeah, go to Gloucester. If you're chills in Gloucester, I feel that's a good place to go. And there's actually this rebel town here we could potentially take. That's the cool about rebel towns when they do show up, is that you can just go, you know what, I'm going to take that town. And we're still waiting. Okay, so you can come in. So as you can see, that's quite an even battle. But as soon as I bring in my extra units as I've got here, this should make it a bit easier. And then let's just go in a full-on siege. Well, aggressive stance. Nice. So we've actually got full control of this province again, which is fantastic. And while we're here, we'll just have to chill out. I'm just trying to think what's the next best thing to go. Because... just trying to see who... Let's have a look at my diplomacy so far, because there's always one I do... Who doesn't like me? Well, East Sussex doesn't like me at all, Seaxe. I'm still at war with Gwynedd, but I can't actually do anything right now, because I've got these guys here that are kind of like in the way. They don't mind me too much, actually, which is good. I think they don't like the idea I've got treaties with the Seaxe, but that's fine. I am trying to push down this way. Gwen is they're decent. They hate me. They hate me. But they're obviously allied with Gwynedd, so I'm probably at war with them anyway. And then we've got this Viking incursion that's kind of... Yeah, jumped in here. Who are they at war with? They're not in war with anyone. So I'm probably thinking the idea would be if I can take this territory here, I could actually push through and start attacking Gwynedd. Which would be quite useful, because it means I can then just spread out and start taking a lot of these settlements off them. I'm just wondering how's Northumbria doing. I think they got vassals of... Okay, so these guys are vassals. I know if I actually went this way on the east coast and started attacking these guys, then I'd draw Northumbria in anyway. So that would be not a very good idea for now. And they're not at war with anyone, and they are the third highest strength out of... I think Gwynedd is 6. Who's the second then? Is it these guys? Yeah, these are the second highest strength on the British Isles after me. We're ranked number 1, we're the best. Yeah, okay, we've got some loyalty issues here. It's a statesman. Why you got low loyalty? Let's have a look here. So my governor's is obviously at the top. It's probably because he doesn't have any states. So we're going to have to give him one, which is never that good, giving them all out. You can have Clemersfort. There you go. That'll increase you up a little bit more. And then actually, if we go into my faction, family tree, I mean, it probably would be a good idea to have him married. So let's see if we can seek a wife. What we got? Midwife. +3, husband when governing. Okay. Or happiness. Chance of having children. Yeah. Go on. That works. And then I've also got a daughter who's aged 20. She's peaceful. So we can actually find someone to marry. Okay. Because my tree is quite large right now. Which is a bit interesting. Could we got anyone down here we could marry into? No. So I guess maybe it might be a good diplomatic option. My daughter marrying into a family. Actually, do you think Northumbria would be interested at all?
You will get a fair hearing.
Arranged marriage. No, what about my daughter? And then I'll offer you a payment.
I cannot.
Okay, so he's not interested. That's a bit awkward. Right. I think that's it for the turn. The Wintan. What can we do? Build better boats, lower taxation, increase taxation, turn a blind eye. So what that'll do. More boats means better trade with other powers. Yeah, we'll build better boats. I think that's a... Ooh, we lose some loyalty for that, but we get more... Yeah, I think that'll do. And then we'll take this settlement. I'll occupy it. That'll give us... Oh, this actually gives us some decent supply now, because it's actually got food production in here from the pasture. Nice. They've taken that rebel settlement again. So it kind of closes off that route I want to take. I might have to just go through them, to be honest. That might be an option. So I'm going to send... So if I have an army over this way, and we can jump in and take the settlement. if they don't want to be, if they don't want to play ball warriors, I want to go for their settlements simply because of the reason of its easier access. And we'll move up to Northampton with this army. Yes, if I go down to like Buckingham, I can actually then move up maybe and come through this way. If it comes to shove anyway. Yeah, you can have some more loyalty. And then what needs? Oh yeah, this needs repairing, doesn't it? 162. That's not too bad. Never a bad thing indeed, I don't feel. When it's quite cheap and you want to upgrade units. But I do want to get this, so I've got to wait a couple more turns, I feel. Actually, no, one more turn I should be able to upgrade then. Which would be useful to have. And then it gives me access to the final building. Because I think I've missed something. There's probably a building I should have gone for, which would have actually helped. In most cases. Increase this. Oh well. The mistakes were made. Oh, I'm being blackmailed. Wow. That's a bit rude from you, isn't it? His Cornwall is 5. He wants to blackmail. It means it'll lower my call influence of my leader if I ignore it. And I gain the trait Vengeful. Or, if I accept, I lose influence anyway. You know what? Ignore you. You're not blackmailing me. How dare you? So I have 6 turns low influence, which is fine. But I will not be blackmailed. Who's blackmailing me? Who are you? Should I kill you off? Oh, his influence is quite high, isn't it? 8. Where is he? Hoffel. Let's see if we can find him in here. Is he part of what? He's one of my. Is he a family member? He's no noble, isn't he? So his governance is okay. Zeal's okay. Probably want to assassinate him if possible. Oh no, it's going to cost me a lot to do it. God damn it. Anyway, I want to upgrade this, so we'll get this one. It's going to take 60 food production. Ouch. That's a lot of food production. And how are we doing here? Okay. Ooh, we got 2 upgrade points for this character. Well, I want to actually increase the supply if possible. There we go. And then we'll have him increase his command a little bit more. There we go. So it means it should be less turns. So it's upgrading by 16 per turn. So a few more turns we'll be able to jump in and start taking a couple of these settlements off. I mean, we can actually just run down and start taking a few now. Because he's not moving. I think these are defensive faction, I wonder. Because you do get different factions that have different traits and what they do. Yes, he's very defensive, so he'll just defend his particular units he has. What I'm going to do is move an army down this way. And just see if I can actually, while I'm waiting for the supplies to recoup, it'd probably be a good idea if I moved these armies down just to start taking a couple, and then I can move this guy to Gloucester. Oh no, not. Oh, well. I guess it doesn't really matter which way around I move that one. I'm not going anywhere in this turn. Let's move you down. Come on, keep going. How are we doing? Yeah, so up to 40 now, which is decent. You'll be able to arrive there soon enough. And we've got a bit of money to spend. What can we buy? What can we get? What can we upgrade? We can actually go and get the trade wharf upgrade, which gives us a bit more food, a bit more trade, and a bit more market and supplies. So it's a decent upgrade to level 3. And there's also the cloth, which would give us more money. So we'll get the cloth one, and then we can go for the supplies afterwards. It's always a good one to get. Well, that was a bit of a change for the better. Luckily, that in between turns, the guys on the Cornwall, I was going to actually go and start having a bit of a word with them. Ask for peace. Now, luckily, I managed to give them a bit of coin and say, well, if I give you this bit of coin, do you want to become my vassal again? And they accepted, which is brilliant. It means now I can send this army back all the way this way and worry about pushing further north now. Or maybe I could launch like a coastal invasion. That maybe might be good, because these guys here, which I could attack from the coast. So I'm going to send my army this way. I'm going to move this army down just on this coastal area for the time being, because it's not the best army in the world, but it's nicest to keep an army, I think, nearby just in case something happens. Maybe a raiding army comes in, or maybe someone decides to go and they want to break away and have independence, which I would not be able to stand for. Right, what could we go for next? We could increase tools, so construction cost of villages and second building slots in all regions is cheaper, which would be nice. We could have the estate, the market cross. I really want to get this started, but until I can start figuring out what it is, I'm just going to have to play the usual. I'm going to go for the troop organisation for the spearmen, because it'll increase the +6 melee skill. So it's a good. I think it's a good upgrade to get. Got my general here. He's got a bit low loyalty, so we'll just chip you up. And I think we're in good position now. I'm just trying to think of the best option to take in order to get through these guys, because I do want to push more north and take like Warwickshire. Was it Warwick? Is that Warwickham? Yeah, it must be. But who are they? They're not bad. We do have a friendship with them.
I will listen to your propositions.
I mean, a defensive pact would be insulting to them. If they give me military access, it means I can just go through the territory, which would be very useful to have. That's sufficient. Okay, so they'll give me military access so I can go through the territories and I can start raiding into Gwynedd. And then maybe could launch a coastal assault as well and take one of the settlements, which would be useful to do. So it means now this army can move up to here, or up to here. Okay, which way would be better? I'm just checking on the routes I could take. Just want to keep in my supply range if possible. Well, if I go with this army to move through and go to this position here, I'll be able to walk through Hereford and then go up and take this settlement here and go straight into the heartland of Wales. And then with this army, I can move up to... I'm probably going to have to loop. I could walk through-ish, but it'll take a few turns, so I'm probably going to have to go down and round. So if I go down to like here, I'll be able to walk through and come up this way, and I'll go for Brugg. And then if I can get my other army to get back sometime soon, we could probably launch another assault this way and go for Ned. And I think that might be cool, depending on where their army is, because the main settlement is there, but they do have a rebellion going on, so it might be interesting to see. I want to see if I can get also Gwent on side. They are defensive, and obviously their ethic matters, but it may be useful if I can kind of get them on side a little bit. Okay, they won't offer that one. How about an arrange a marriage? How about you take my lovely charming daughter and I'll pay you for it. Apparently no, it's still insulting. Wow. They like to drive a hard bargain apparently. No, infant mortality. Oh, the horror. It's never nice. Okay, so we're into summer. I can launch a surprise move through this actually saying that, would it be good? Oh, actually, no, it probably might be, because if I get to here, next turn I'll be able to move up and try and take... Yeah, I might be able to reach that settlement before winter. And then let's run... I'm trying to think of a good way, which was the quickest. Yeah, it might be a good idea just to come down this way and sit... Because winter can be a pain, especially for supplies, obviously. So it might be worth just moving this army around and being in position to maybe go next year. And the same thing for this army. It's going to take a bit of time to get there. Governor, well, just increase your... Actually, saying that. Get some more loyalty off you. And we get a nice gold per turn coming in. So it means we can start upgrading places again, which is always nice. So let's see what we can do in general. So we can upgrade that, but that probably won't be a good idea. We can actually upgrade that one. I mean, these will be worth upgrading, but the problem is that I don't have any kind of buildings to replace the unhappiness I would get for said improvements. So it might not be a good idea to get them just yet. Although I could actually get... how are we doing? You're plus 12. It would give less gold, but it increases tradable resource production from all market villages in this province, which... I mean, it seems like a worthwhile trade. And then we can also increase the fortification down here as well. Okay, a worthy bride. What's she? Arrogant. Influence. Command. Gets rid of governance. Give zeal. Yes, actually that would be very good. It does increase his zeal and his command, but it gets rid of his influence and governance. So, and he is I think he is a governor. But, yeah, that's, you know, it's the idea of like, yeah, oh, you're going to be a negative influence on him. Yes, by all means, take part in that. I don't mind.
The men have trained for this.
I think I'm just going to be close enough. Let's just have a little mosey up.
Get marching, men.
So there's a settlement there.
Move into position.
I don't think I'll be able to take, but what I'll do, I'll sit on this river crossing. And if I do get attacked by anyone, I can hold them off. And I want to see if I can have these guys. They really don't like me at all, do they? Wow, 50. Well, how about if we give you... We'll offer you a gift. Here you go. It'll improve it, not by much, but, you know, every little helps. And then if we can try to do the same with these guys... There we go. So it doesn't do too much in terms of improving the happiness, but it helps. And then winter sets in. There we go. And then I can actually move next up. And I've used all my coins as well, which is hilarious.